Singaporean musician Jeff Ong has been in the news for his superb busking performance, but subsequently for being unreasonable during gigs and for being a bad romantic partner. But should we hold our influencers to role model standards? On this episode of IMO, we discuss why we love to hate the people on social media.
Okay, realistically speaking, people like Jeff Ong or he's famous because he sings well, right? But then suddenly there's this extra thing that's not related to why they like you. So like whether or not Jeff Ong is an asshole, right, doesn't affect whether or not his music is good. Why do you care so much about whether or not he was a good boyfriend? Like, you're not gonna date him.
Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of In My Opinion. My name is John.
My name is Lester.
And yes, welcome to an episode, and this time it's very disgusting because we're wearing the same shirt by pure accident.
Disgusting.
And you will get to see to those of you listening on Spotify, you don't get, oh my god, you get to see it now.
Now you get to see it.
You'll
on
get
video
to see
podcast
it now.
on Spotify.
On video podcast on Spotify, you can follow us on Spotify, which is IMO.
Yes.
In my opinion. Everywhere else, we are Overthink SG on YouTube, on Instagram, on Telegram, on Twitch, on TikTok. And coming to an OnlyFans near you. No, I'm just kidding. No OnlyFans in the near horizon. But yes.
In the far horizon, yes. But
in the far horizon, indeed.
But okay, so this last week we missed an episode. It's the first episode we missed in like I think 70 weeks or something.
You want to guess what happened?
I got COVID. I got COVID. I'm sorry. We missed 1 week, but we're going to make it up to you guys. One of the weeks, we're going to release 2 episodes
Yes.
just to make up to you guys.
Yes.
So, but for today, we're just going to go as per normal. We are going to talk about a topic that is actually quite
recent.
Quite recent.
Yes.
We haven't done one of these in a long time, but we're going to be talking about Jeff Ong. So for the people who don't know who Jeff Ong is or what the hell happened to him.
Famous on the social media pages of Jeff Hello Music and Jeff Bye Bye Music.
Jeff Bye Bye Music is fucking funny. Okay, I don't care too much about the whole Jeff Ong thing, but Jeff Bye Bye Music is a TikTok page account, right?
It's hilarious.
It's hilarious. But Jeff Hello Music, basically he is a singer. I think he went on competition before and that's why he got some fans.
Yes.
But in Singapore, he also he's the guy who went to Cathay.
A massive crowd outside the Cathay while
he was busking. It was like really massive. It's like ridiculous. And then as he got more and more famous, then more and more reports came out of him being like not the best of,
not the most well behaved.
Not the most well behaved. There were people like audiences from a certain bar. Oh yes. Then there were like people ex-girlfriend came out and said that he like was manipulating her or whatever. And then there's also on top of that, like people went to his live streams and then like he asked them to like keep quiet and they didn't want to. Then he ended the live stream early. Then there was a whole thing on TikTok also.
I didn't follow that one.
Yeah, they basically went and cut out him. Then
but you know what? I'm pretty sure everyone here you're watching, you have definitely glimpsed these episodes, these things that have been happening on the internet about Jeff. And if you Google, they will know. Yeah,
I'll leave a article down below.
Jeff Bye Bye Music. By the way, okay, why it's funny is because Jeff Bye Bye Music is like this TikTok meme page. They're just out to shade on him because his socials are Jeff Hello Music.
It's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Whoever thought of it, right, is a genius.
I agree. Like, your content is fine,
I don't care about the content. I think that sometimes you insult people or like you try to bring people down, that's not too cash money. But your handle.
Jeff Bye Bye Music fucking funny.
But the Jeff Bye Bye Music handle, that's hilarious.
I agree. And I mean, there were a lot more allegations. We're not going to like sit here and like list them all. But the reason what we are gonna do, is that we want to talk a little bit about like as like influencers or as like public figures. Why do we care so much about them being role models? Should they be held to a standard that's a bit higher than normal? And why the hell
people
are so angry at this whole
reacting
thing?
like that?
So we're not going to like sit here and pretend like, we're not going to like address like him being a manipulator or whatever. Because that one is like that one is there already lah. You can go and like form your own opinion.
You can go and sort that out yourself.
Yeah. But I do. I remember when I was going through when the Jeff Ong thing was going that was happening. All I could think of was like, why people care so much? Like realistically, why do you give a fuck, right?
Okay, personally, I got 2 theories. Yeah. Right. First one would be because people just like drama. Right? Which is not new, right? People just like drama. Right. The other thing that I think why people feel this way is because there is this betrayal in some sense. Because
what do you mean?
Like hear me out. Okay, so the betrayal is that like these people become fans of his.
Yeah.
Because he's a performer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right? They may not know him before, but when they see the big crowds on social media, they're just like, oh my god, this guy sounds good. They listen and then they're like, yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Right? And they're like, and there's this betrayal. It's like how, everyone thought that there was this particular actor that's like really impressive, like a next generation of the actors and all that kind of thing. And then he become and then they are Ezra Miller.
Then they feel betrayed, like they were supporting someone, and they cannot get
and then they discover funny shenanigans, basically. So same for this Jeff, right? They were supporting him.
Yeah.
And then suddenly shenanigans, and that's why they felt betrayed, because they painted an image in their own head of how this person is like.
Sure, understand. Yes, yes. No, but at the same time, okay, I do agree that there will probably be some people who are like that. But I also do think that but there's a huge percentage of people who probably like never heard of this guy. Found out that he got famous.
And then went just want to see people fall.
Yeah, and when he's singing not very good, however, and then just so happens that now got this drama, and then because we all K-pop people, that one's fine, right? They all K-pop people, and then they just decide that oh my god, how dare he become an influencer?
Free punching bag.
Exactly. And just start going at him for no reason. Not that they were ever fans, not that they ever gave a fuck about him before. It's just that because he's famous and he has drama now, then suddenly people care.
I think so.
Which sucks, right? Why do you give a fuck? Quite honest. Why do you care so much about whether or not he was a good boyfriend? You're not gonna date him. Let the girls who dated him or want to date him go and talk about whether or not he can be a good boyfriend or not. What? Why the fuck?
I think that there are two camps here.
Yeah.
Right. One is people who just share because it's juicy.
Yeah.
But there are people who are genuinely contributing to the conversation by being upset or by posting upsetting things.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that the second type, the latter, which is the people who get upset or post upsetting things, right, are strange. I agree with you.
Yeah, I understand if you are the ex-girlfriend of Jeff and was really, really hurt by him and you were traumatized by him.
Yeah.
And now that he's famous, suddenly you cannot fucking escape fucking Jeff Ong, right? And then you just hate him so much. Then you post a Facebook post. I'm fine. You know what?
You know what?
He hurt you, right?
People have done worse.
Yeah, he hurt you. You post a Facebook post sharing your opinion and how you're so uncomfortable with this whole thing.
Yeah.
Sure. Go ahead.
Opinions, right? Opinions are appreciated, right?
That's fine. I don't get how Darius Ng, who doesn't give a fuck about Jeff Ng.
Darius Ng, who is Darius
I don't know.
Ng?
I don't know, some fucking Tan Wei Jie or some shit.
Anyone, right?
It doesn't fucking matter. Tan Wei Jie in his fucking random HDB flat.
It could be a Joseph Chua.
Exactly. I don't give a fuck, right? They're just sitting there. They never heard of Jeff Ng until now. And then they saw this Facebook post and go, oh my god, this type of people should never be influencers. And why the fuck do you care? I don't get it. Why do you care? Is my question. Is why do you care? Someone asked who's Tan Wei Jie. It doesn't really matter.
Tan Wei Jie is potentially the best spy in Singapore because he could be anyone.
You can be anyone. Anyone can be
coming back to this topic about I feel that that's where the culture of the internet lynching that we've been talking about for the longest time, right, starts to fall apart. The narrative starts to fall apart because it's purely just people being emotional for no reason.
And also, and maybe it's just because people like drama and people I remember Sean.
People like projecting their standards onto influencers or onto people who succeed in certain sense.
But here's the thing: if Jeff Ong wasn't famous, no one would give a shit.
No one would give a shit because people. Okay, here's the thing. I think we had a conversation with someone before where they mentioned that one of the favorite things that Singaporeans like to do is to watch quote unquote influencers fall.
Yeah, I think I heard. Yeah.
And that in itself inherently is something that people enjoy seeing because of I think two factors again. One would be a little bit of internal resentment.
Yeah.
Right? And the other one is straight up jealousy. So sorry, self-loading.
Yeah, okay, self-loading I get.
Self-loading, and the other one is the resentment. So the resentment is that wow,
your life easy.
Why these people have it handed to them.
Yeah.
Right? And the other self-loading is because a bit of the sour grapes kind of syndrome. Because I can't get it, so it's it must suck. And they fall in, wow, this guy, I knew it, he didn't deserve it.
Okay, that's another thing about the whole deserve it thing, right? I've always wondered, why are we holding these people because they have... Okay, realistically speaking, people like Jeff Ong, or he's famous because he sings well, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And people randomly saw him sing well one day.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So that's why people like him, and that's why he got famous, right? And like, for example, people like you are where you are, you're quote unquote famous because you like to do like comedy.
Because my Twitch funny, and YouTubers like me.
People like your personality.
Thank you.
like you are funny, right?
Right.
But then suddenly there's this extra thing that's not related to why they like you.
Mm.
So like whether or not Jeff Ong is an asshole, right, doesn't affect whether or not his music is good.
Ah.
Right? So why do we care?
Because because I mentioned about the resentment and self-loathing thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like when people get put on a pedestal, right? You have this conflicting emotion whereby you are jealous of their achievement, but at the same time you also think that like, wow, these people higher credit than me already.
Yeah.
But like when they are taken down a notch by something, regardless of their skill, regardless of whatever, right? In your head, you're just like, in fact, you're the same as me. Or like, you now I got something that I can say I'm superior to you.
Then they want to
continue press that point only. Because you think about it, people can insult him all they want, right? But then most of the time people don't ever say that like you also cannot sing.
Yeah.
You know? Nobody says that.
Yeah.
They might say, when people might they might face some resistance.
Yeah.
That people are like, what do you mean he cannot sing? Like, don't criticize his singing ability. He can sing, but he's like blah blah blah.
Yeah.
People will come back with that, right?
Yeah.
But most of the time, these emotional, rather unreasonable people on the internet, they will not say that. They'll just be like, I knew he was trash, or like some
Yeah. Wow, I don't know. I've thought about this ever since like the Chris Brown thing, right?
Right.
Like when Chris Brown like assaulted Rihanna.
Yeah.
And I remember people were like, let's boycott Chris Brown and everything like that. Yeah. And I was one of those that like, as much as I don't support like abuse and domestic abuse and physical abuse, right? Or emotional abuse, doesn't fucking matter. I don't support that. But at the same time, there are some Chris Brown songs that are just really fucking good, right? I'll just listen to it, right?
I don't listen, so I'm just taking your word for it.
Okay, I like some Chris Brown songs. Okay, some of them are quite catchy.
Does that make you a wife beater?
Exactly. Doesn't make any fucking sense to me. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Right.
But there are people who are like, if you support them as like an artist, you're supporting them as people outside of the art.
Yeah.
You're also supporting their personality and the shitty things they do outside of their art.
Right.
Which I personally cannot understand.
I think it might be because people have this very Jekyll and Hyde personality approach, right, to these people. When things are great, they're just like, oh my god, they're great.
Yeah.
But the moment they have a chink in their armor, right, they'll just be like, oh my god, you're a human too. So let's pull you back down.
So then they like, since you're a normal human like me, you should not be at a famous level.
And because you are not perfect, you are no longer that higher, more better being than I imagine you to be, let's have you wholesale put down because you don't deserve. In that sense, in their head is a very warped sense of justice. You get where I'm trying to go with this warped sense of justice, right?
Yeah.
Like, because of one flaw, everything else you don't deserve.
It's not just everything else, it's fame specifically.
Right.
Right? That people associate you being famous with you being morally
flawless,
upright and flawless.
Yeah.
Which, if you think about it, doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
If you tell me like, okay, there's the argument to be had that if you are like a famous person, then you have like influence over children. And if you do shitty things, then children are going to learn from you. Like, sure, if you tell me that argument, then
that makes sense.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
But like every other, like, it doesn't really matter what. Like, they are famous because they are good at singing or they are good at whatever they're doing, right? Then whether or not they're good at the other thing, it's kind of like when Bill Clinton is the one that like fucks around, right?
Yeah.
So like Bill Clinton, right? Whether or not he's a good president, in my opinion, is independent of the fact of whether or not he is a dick of a husband.
Right.
You get what I mean?
Okay.
But some people, and people are...
They equate, right?
But no, even for Bill Clinton, people are less like... I feel like more willing to like separate these two, like you're a shitty husband. Or even like Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs is like to some people, arguably a very shitty boss, right? But people love him because he made a fucking iPhone, right? Everyone loves the iPhone, right? And people still revere him for making the iPhone and pushing technology to where it is right now.
Right.
But people are a lot more willing to forgive the fact that he was a dick lah, right? He was objectively a
why?
dick.
Yeah.
But like for some reason, Jeff Ong cannot get that.
Is it right? Is it a Singaporean thing?
I don't know. Maybe yeah.
Maybe right.
Maybe
the level of resentment and self-loathing is so high within Singaporeans that we never let it go because we do not want to see people better than us. But at the same time, right, we are jealous of. But at the same time, right, we are jealous of people who objectively stay better than us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like you revere, like you revere that position, like someone who you feel that there's a status, be it status from clout, status from money, or status from whatever. Because if Jeff Ong or some random person won the lottery and then after that they are found out to be a trash person, right? I'm pretty sure the reaction would be quite similar. It's just that fame is the most obvious denominator because it appears on everyone's social media.
Yeah.
Right? But like everyone doesn't want people to be ahead of them, even though they covered being ahead of the other people.
I get what you mean.
Right?
Yeah.
So when someone suddenly increases in the public's eye a bit in their head lah, you don't even realize this, but they increase in credit above you, right? You're just like, wow.
Why does he?
But also like, damn.
Yeah.
And then after that, when there's a point to pull them down, right, there'll be a large population that will be just like, ha, I knew it. You were just like me.
But why? Okay, I'm very interested to know why is it like linked to fame and not like money. For example, like
I think it's both.
No, for example, like if you tell me like Singapore's first ever billionaire has been outed as a shitty boyfriend.
No, but like there's no way to immediately hurt them if it's money.
Oh, so
fame,
because
right? Because you have the power to hurt them.
To reduce their fame.
To pull them down.
Oh.
If it's money, right?
Maybe
they will probably stay hated for very long.
Because they can do something about
but they'll probably still stay hated for very long. People will still spit on their picture or that kind of nonsense lah. They'll just be like, fuck this guy, right?
Yeah.
But fame different. Because you can
defame.
You
can affect it.
You can defame.
Oh.
And it's this back to this democratization of power on the internet, right? That result in this lynch mob mentality.
So they don't
even want to cancel him.
Yeah.
They just want to whack him.
And to a certain extent, they also view power, like fame as power on the internet.
Yeah.
Okay. It also says, but people look up to a president. Wouldn't that mean that some men might think it's okay to fuck around because the freaking president of the United States also did? Yeah, exactly. Okay, if you're following the Jeff Ong concept, if you tell me like, oh, the reason why you're upset at Jeff Ong because we think that he has like 13-year-old kids, and then you don't want him to become like that, and you tell me that you would do the same for Bill Clinton, I get it. But my point is that like Bill Clinton as a president, is not the first thing you think of is not what a shitty husband, therefore he's a shitty president.
You
just say that, oh, he's an alright president.
No, but there's enough people, right,
Yeah.
who think that way, that it becomes an effective strategy to take people down or bring people up. Like Jeff Ong is a great example, right? People are now just using things to bring him down. Now, I'm not trying to say here that whether those things he did were good, bad, right, or wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that these things provided something for people who were resentful to take him down.
And also maybe because his value that he brings to society is not as distinct as compared to like Bill Gates or like Bill Clinton, Bill Gates or like Steve Jobs. Yeah,
like if you think about if you think about it as money, right? People would have done the exact same thing. If, for example, someone is rich because they are allocated 500 people's salaries.
Yeah.
Right? On the spot, something like this happened, right? People will pull away their salary.
That's true.
Pull away their investment. For no reason, what?
That's true.
No reason other than the fact that they believe that, this whole concept of I lose faith is basically, right, you see them no up. Right? And like in this concept of clout and social influence, fame, credit, right? See them no up can be immediately enacted upon, right, with the swift hand of a dislike and a hate comment. Yeah,
and also the value that these artists like Jeff Ong or social media influencers bring is the influence that they bring.
Correct.
So in that sense, okay, I get now I understand a little bit more.
That's why people understand this instinctively, because to these lay people full of resentment and self-loathing, right? A good singer and a great singer, they cannot tell the difference. right? But they can tell the difference between a famous singer and a not famous one.
And then, okay, that's also one point, but people never say he's shit singing, while people just say he's not good boyfriend or whatever. But also at the same time, like, if let's say you bring it back to the Steve Jobs like point of view, people like Steve Jobs, right? Generally, people like Steve Jobs remembered fondly. Like that because I mean he's fucking Steve Jobs, right? He made an iPhone, but like Jeff Ong is not remembered fondly. Jeff Ong will never be remembered as the guy who sang well. He'll be remembered as the shitty boyfriend or the asshole who like refuses to let.
I think because people don't value the singing thing as highly as the Steve Jobs tech thing.
I think so also.
Like you think about it, that's the reason why I brought out the fact that people cannot tell the difference between a good singer and a great singer. Because as far as the lay person who listens to this, right, they'll just be like, that sounds great. But
that's true,
what it sounds great, right? You cannot break it down unless you're someone who understands what they're talking about.
That's true.
To the average angry, self-loathing and resentful commenter, right? They just be like, oh my god, yeah, I knew it. He can sing only what? Why is it that everything else about him he don't deserve?
Maybe that's why it is there. Like they don't think that influencers deserve their.
They really don't, even though
standing.
they covered it. So it's an internal struggle that I think a lot of angry commenters have because they have this gold star standard. You think about it, the easiest example that people apply this to, right, is politicians.
Yes.
They always hold them to a gold star standard, right? And then after that, when they cannot find chinks in their armor, what do they say? They say, you take so much money, still cannot do your job. Right? Even though they don't fully understand some of the things that they do. But they just talk shit.
I wonder if it's... Okay, for example, Ivan Lim. Is it Ivan Lim? Ivan Lim?
Right, the politician.
The politician, the PAP politician who got like basically screwed over because like... and people from NS, from his NS days came out and said that he was a shitty officer or whatever.
That one a little bit more relevant.
Yeah, that one a bit more relevant. And he did get like the same treatment that Jeff Ong got.
Yeah.
For some reason, I feel like that was more called for than Jeff Ong.
That was more okay because his leadership is what he was trying to sell in his new job.
And the death. Oh, that makes sense. And what they were attacking was his leadership quality.
Yeah. And a person's character does speak of his leadership quality. But I guess the only very flimsy relation for Jeff is that his behavior will determine his character as a performer. Which most of the humans and most of the Singaporeans, we are just audience, right? It won't affect us one.
Yeah.
It will not.
Yeah,
it might affect people who work with him, but it will not affect us one. But we just have this a bit. He's in this grey area where it feels like we can also be personally offended, and also we have the immediate power to try to take him down a notch.
So we do it lah. That's true. I also want to talk a little bit about like the TikTok thing. So like one of the big things that people were going against him was that like apparently doing a bar, like he was performing at a bar once and he apparently told people to like stop talking while he's singing and stuff. Yeah. Which I agree is a bit out of pocket. And therefore bars didn't want to hire him and everything like that. Yeah. That one I feel like is kind of justified. But then there's like this bunch of people who went into his TikTok and started talking and stuff and like I guess almost provoking him almost. And he said like, can you guys not talk during my TikTok, this TikTok live or whatever, the live streaming app thing. I'm not sure if it's TikTok. Yeah. And asked him to like not do it, to not talk while he's singing. And people say like, why I cannot talk? That kind of thing. That one I don't get. That one I don't think is his fault. Because it's like, okay, I always think about it this way. Like, let's say like Twitch stream, right? We are streaming on Twitch now. If someone comes in and say, Lester, you're an asshole, I will ban him, right? I don't want him to be in my chat. Correct? But does he have every right to say, Lester, you're an asshole? Yeah. But I don't want, because it's my live stream, it's like me hanging out with my community. I don't want you in my community. So Jeff Ong has control over his community. If Jeff Ong wants his community to shut the fuck up when he's singing, and they are all agreeable to it, then okay. Then why? Then you shouldn't. I feel like that viewer has no right to come in and impose their artificial rules
but that's
onto his community.
In an ideal world, because personally, he also may have reacted emotionally. We don't know the full context of the conversation. That's true. He might have reacted emotionally, and then when you react emotionally, you may not have the immediate frame of mind to be like, I just need to ban these people, and then we're over and done with. Right? Like, for example, we did receive something like that before. There was this other streamer that was really racist and vulgar that were talking about us on his stream, right? And like, that was something that we kind of had to deal with.
We just banned him.
Yeah, so like that's the situation, ma.
Yeah.
He can do all that if he wants to, but like maybe because we are all flesh and bone.
Yeah.
During that moment, he just didn't think of doing that.
Yeah.
And like hear me out, okay?
Definitely.
Those commenters that came in to flood his stream,
Yeah.
right, are the exact same people that we were talking about, full of resentment and self-loathing, except now been given power by a bad report.
Yeah, I agree.
Right, you think about it. I feel that the mindset shift in people is very clear. First, they're just thinking in their heads, cool singer.
Yeah.
Why everyone looking at him? They don't really know, but they know everyone is looking at him, so they also look.
Admittedly, that was me too,
Yeah,
fair,
so
yes.
nobody really know, they just look.
Yeah, correct.
Right? But then when the news come, right, they suddenly feel that like, oh my god, this entire news is addressed to us. Actually, he was not worth my look. So that time, I respect him for what? Even though, right, they respect him for what, right? They don't really have an answer.
That's true.
Right? If you really ask them, say that like you said you were looking at him. Why? Why were you looking at him? His singing was good. That's very generic, what? Right? Then it becomes very shitty because like once again we come back to the argument, right, about whether a performance ability and a performance attitude, right, has to be kept separate or has it be close to
exactly.
Does it have to be close to home?
And whether or not the value that they bring with their art, singing or whatever, is enough to offset the fact that they're a shitty person.
This is hard.
Because
this is tough.
We all collectively agreed that Steve Jobs, as much as he's a shitty person, we all still love him because he fucking made the iPhone.
But he's also not in the showbiz industry.
Technically he is, right? Like he does keynotes and stuff.
He's not, because that's not where he get his revenue / living from.
Okay, fair.
That's why politicians also cannot put them to the same standard, even though all these people, right, if they fuck up, they get the same treatment. But they cannot be taken down a notch by social media. That's why people that don't do it. Yeah. You don't see, like, for example, if someone fucks up, right, random folk pull out all their stocks or investment. No what? Because why? It hurts them as much because they will lose money or they'll lose something. When you want to whack someone on the internet, right, you lose absolutely nothing.
That's true.
It's a free attack.
It's a free attack.
Yeah, it's like you play a video game, right? You can do an action without cost.
Will you still support an artist that has done shitty things, even but you like their music?
Personally, I haven't found any particular artist that comes to mind when you say that. Yeah. But if you ask me about...
Hypothetically speaking.
Right. If you ask me about supporting someone who has had like fucked up stories about them, but their art is good.
Yeah.
I think so far the only example I can think of is people who I support sort of posthumously. Yeah. Like those old philosophers or old authors.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah.
That one I feel is okay. But at the same time, I cannot say why my not okay is also. Because it's very simple for me.
Yeah.
I'm not a massive fan of anything. Okay? So much so that it will affect me. And on the flip side of it is, I'm not so full of resentment and self-loathing
that you are like purposely...
I feel that like this person needs to be taken down a notch.
Yeah.
I don't ever think those two things. And that's why I can't give you a concrete answer. But if you ask me to take a step back and try to put myself in those people's shoes.
Yeah.
Let's say you put myself in the resentment and self-loathing shoes. Right? Then yes, absolutely, I will be one of those commenters that will try to hold these people to a standard that is unrealistic. Yeah.
You probably will.
I probably might. But I can't see myself ever doing those things in real life because I'm never into anything I'm never in so deep.
Yeah, you're never like that.
The closest, okay, let me hear me out. The closest I feel that I've come to in that kind, right?
Yeah.
Is two things I can think of. First one is with Daryl Aiden Yao.
Okay.
Right? During that saga. Because back then I was still developing and I thought his stuff was cool. Yeah. But I didn't go to the point where oh my god, damn.
Daryl Aiden Yao I get because it
felt like a lie, right? It was a lie for some parts, right?
What people have attacked him for is the specific thing that he's bringing in, like his value to the society.
Even that I was not like affected.
Okay.
The other one which I can think of is like remember Blizzard, the video game company?
Yeah.
Remember exactly, the whole Overwatch thing?
Yeah,
right?
That's a good example. Yeah.
Yeah, so that one, right, is the closest example that I can think of.
Yes, I think it's a good example.
That kind of made me think a little bit about whether I should continue to support Blizzard.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And it made me come to the conclusion that that's where the value and the things that they are brought to the table differ so vastly. Because whether you support the games versus whether you support the company, right? People can talk all the shit that they want, right? If the games are enjoyable, in our monkey ass brains, right? It still feels separate, on it.
Exactly. Yeah.
It still feels separate.
You will find a way to justify yourself.
Even though I will argue, right? I will argue the Blizzard thing, might be closer to home than the Jeff thing. Might be closer to each other than that.
100%. Yeah. Definitely.
But you somehow in our monkey human meat brains, right? We feel they are separate.
I think it's also because like the more you enjoy something, right?
Yeah.
Like, cause there's like dissonance, right? Like you like the game, but at the same time you don't support like
the message
that Blizzard is as a company stands for, right?
Yeah.
So like because there's that dissonance, then for people like Jeff Ong, for example, that you're not that invested in, and honestly, like people who can sing dime a dozen, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like then you're not as motivated to clear the dissonance or rather you can clear the distance by just stop supporting him. It's a lot easier to do so as compared to like Blizzard, because you love fucking Overwatch, right? You want to play Overwatch. Yeah. The way to clear the dissonance, to solve it, is then to justify in your head that actually me supporting Overwatch is not supporting Blizzard.
Yeah, which is
it's like a roundabout way of doing it. But because you're motivated to do so, you'll do so.
Right.
Maybe that's why lah.
But like I feel I'm not. And I think it's easier to continue to that's why your examples of maybe not politician. Your example of Steve Jobs is the perfect example of this.
Yeah.
People may hate Steve Jobs to the day they die, but they might still buy iPhone. Because in their head, they're like different things.
Yeah, but I feel like but I think that's just like a mind trick.
It is a mind trick for sure.
It's just a Jedi mind trick, right?
Yeah, it is a mind trick.
It's just to make yourself feel better only, right?
And like we mentioned earlier, twofold, right? Because like one, right, you cannot suddenly say that like suddenly mass return of iPhones cannot.
Yeah, exactly.
You have exchanged a certain amount of value for a product. Same for the game, what? Jeff is different. You can return the fame. In fact, you can do better. You can give him hatred.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it becomes tougher, right? Because all these influencers suddenly, if you're in the economy of likes, right, you are then also the victim of these likes. Right?
And I also think that like Jeff Ong, probably people aren't as motivated to give him a benefit of the doubt also.
Yeah.
Or like aren't as motivated to give him a second chance or whatever.
But I feel like as Singaporeans, we instinctively do one of two things when these kind of things come out. Yeah. First would be to straight away say like, I knew it. Yeah. The second one, right, will be to immediately form an impression about how this person is like.
Yeah.
Based on performance and based on the circumstance that come out. Even though, right, you have never heard him speak in real life.
That's true.
Like personally, I feel like the first thing that I very instinctively did that I'm ashamed of, because I think we all instinctively do this kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not Buddha, right? But like basically is I immediately had this impression in my head that, oh, he's like that. Then after I caught myself thinking that on the spot. I caught myself thinking that because I think when we were in office and people were discussing it.
Yeah.
Then I caught myself thinking, then I was like, what do I mean by he's like that?
Yeah.
What do you mean by he's like that? This is just a story somebody tell me about him. What do you mean he's like that? You know, and that's why I stopped myself short, because I realized how quickly and then instinctively that people go into that. And there are more people who act on instinct on these kind of things than we care to admit. Yeah.
And I also think that another point I want to bring up was that like I feel like there are people who will think internally like, wow, he like that or not. Man, I'm not going to support him. I think it's very different for that. If you decide for yourself you're not going to support him as a singer or whatever internally, and you going to like his comments and saying like, why you don't let people talk more, you're saying, and like actually actively trying to go out and like pull him down and actually going out to like show him hate and stuff like that. I feel like there's a very big difference. I'm not a very big proponent of the latter of you like going out and like talking to people like that, because I feel that's why I say very natural to go like, wow, he like that
meh. But that's the kind of random judgment you pass in your head, that if someone actually asks you, what do you mean by he like that?
Exactly.
You don't have a concrete answer. You might smoke something, but it's not concrete one.
Because you don't know him, you don't know you don't know how he is as a person.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's very normal, because even I did that, admittedly. And admittedly, like okay, first of all, I'm not a very big fan of his singing anyways. But also like and therefore like I was like, oh, I'm just not gonna follow him. No, I won't follow him. I'm not gonna like specifically go out of my way to like support him and like or whatever.
Right.
But at the same time, I also won't go out of my way to like like
leave
a
you
comment.
on blast,
exactly.
yeah.
So that's the second part I don't understand lah. It's not just you didn't like them enough to like take time out of your day to leave a hate comment, which I don't get.
That's why I think that one is the self-loading. The self-loading half. Because actually low-key inside, right, they put them on a pedestal.
Maybe.
You think about it, the worst kind of treatment that you can truly give someone that you dislike, right, is apathy. Right? You don't give them attention. They're not a part of your life.
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
Right? The fact that you give them your time of day, right, shows that there is a deep part inside you, right, that either you are affected by the situation or you still have a connection with this person.
That's true.
This connection may not be something you realize immediately, but you feel a connection with this person. And this connection is that like now I'm superior, you know?
Yeah. Wow, that's true.
Which is so tough because humans are so weird. Funnily enough, the one thing that we can actually do to actually punish people who are bad, which is to ignore them, is the one thing we don't do.
People don't do. Yeah,
it's the one thing you don't do. Let me just put it out there for those of you on the internet. If you haven't realized this yet, and especially for our younger audience, welcome to the internet. The one most dangerous thing, that anybody that is chasing flame, cloud, or anything on the internet they can face is apathy when people ignore them. Not when people give them hate.
If anything, that might help them.
Yeah. It puts them in the spotlight. The one thing that you do is when you say boycott, you put your money where your mouth is and you don't even need to type out the word boycott. You ignore people. And apathy is the worst to happen on the internet.
Because they're no longer relevant.
Yeah.
Exactly. But for some reason, people don't do that also.
People don't do that because of I really think it's these two reasons.
Yeah, lor. I agree.
Resentment
I agree,
because the person feels better, and then self-loading because you also you crave the...
You crave what they have. La.
Yeah.
Any final words, John? Any final thoughts?
No, man. I think firstly, the human race is a little bit fucked up, but at the same time... Disclaimer, we didn't disclaim at the start of the episode because it's been a while since we had this kind of discussion. Yeah. But for those of you that have watched this episode, I understand that there are a lot of emotional people in the comments, but I just want to say, ladies and gentlemen, whenever we go into this kind of conversation, we have our opinions, we respect your opinions, we don't mind having our minds changed, and we just ask that you have the same attitude as us. We encourage a discussion in our comment section, but I would like you all to be intellectual about it. If someone comes with a differing opinion, let's not get into fisticuffs. Let's not lose our emotions and try to take something out of this.
Yeah, I agree. Fisticuffs is a fancy word.
Fisticuffs.
My final thought is like don't need to care so much.
Yeah lah, just relax.
Like just if you don't like the person, which is sure, like you're entitled to not like the person, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine. I'm not trying to sit here and trying to convince you that you should like him.
Yeah.
You don't like the person, just like ignore him lah.
Yeah, just go and watch Doja Cat or something instead.
Yeah, go and like interact with an artist that you actually like. Go and like support people that you actually like. You don't have to go out of your way to go to their live streams and like try to like ask them questions like why you don't let people like talk while you sing. Just let him friends, just let him and his community go and do weird culty things with like not talking while singing, and let them do their thing. If they're happy like that, they're happy like that. Just
if you got a lot of internal pent up frustration that you cannot let out, find a group of friends and then go for a slam poetry session or something.
Just do something other than hate.
Other than spread hate.
Yeah.
Slam poetry. I think slam poetry.
Slam poetry might be a good way.
Yeah. You just open your book of resentment. Then you read out all the lines that you were about to type into so-and-so's
that'll be a cool media. Slam poetry.
Yeah. You think you deserve? No.
Fuck, dude. That's actually quite funny. Like, can you imagine like a poem of all like the hate comments you're about to send?
You think you deserve? No. 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 No's.
Bruh. With that, thank you guys so much for watching this week's episode of IMO. Stay safe. Don't get COVID like I did. It sucks.
Don't drop the ball. Remember to keep your mask on. Wash your hands whenever you can. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
Even though
we're wearing the same shirt.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Peace.